Please help me welcome Congressman Mike Honda.
Thank you, Penny. Well, all the speakers before had gone right through my speech. So that means I get to say, off the cuff. First of all, I want to reiterate thanking DNC and Governor Tim Kaine for hosting this evening. And it's really important that you understand that the DNC is the Democratic National Committee whose sole responsibility is to get a president into the White House. Now that we have a White House under a Democratic control, I almost said regime. Oh, what the hell, regime. The White House really has a lot of control and say in the DNC along with Tim Kaine. So when that happened, I wanted to continue to serve as vice chair. So I called Tim Kaine and hoping that, the work that Asian American has done in Virginia 8 years ago and 4 years ago and this past time, that it meant something, and it did. So you are greatly responsible for me being reappointed out of the 5 vice chairs. So I just want to thank you for your great work. And it's been said already. The congressman from Pennsylvania, Sistak, and Connolly from Virginia, one said 14% in their district, the other said 2.1%. If there were 1% Asian Americans in a person's district, I would go after them because people win with a very small margin a lot of times in hotly contested races like Herbert Vogt, won by 26 votes. After going to courts 3 times being challenged, and finally the court says to the Republican incumbent, you lost, he won, get over it. And so it happens all across this country. And today we have 3 more actually, Asian Americans. We have Congressman Savlan from Northern Marianas. We have also Congressman Stephen, don't tell me. Stephen, tell me. Austria, yes, thank you. He's from Ohio, and he's Filipino, and he's a Republican. And that's not bad. I'll tell you why it's not bad, because it's about time we start to put together a Congressional Asian Pacific American caucus that's not only bicameral but partisan. And so that the issues that we put forward is not going to be Democratic or Republican. It'll be heavily Democratic values. But we want to say that, our values are the values of the folks. And then we have a gentleman from New Orleans, Senator An Gao, or Joseph Gao, who's an attorney. He has a Jesuit background. He won in a Republican race in that area. He's got a tough road to hoe. But he had joined the Congressional Asian Pacific American Caucus. And so we welcome him with open arms, and we're going to be working with him on his issues of common values, and we know that we have common values. And he's representing the coastal states, which is heavily hit by Katrina. And his first question to me was, is Congress Katrina fatigued? And I said, are you kidding? We haven't even touched the surface yet. And so we still have a lot of work to do. And so I just want to let you know that DNC and the staffing that they have, it's not an accident. It's hard work from folks like yourselves, the leadership, the pioneers. And they have not lost the vision. And though we've reached this point, the vision's still not lost, because we have to continue to grow, because we have a community that has many more communities under this umbrella called Asian American, and we need to get more of us into the political process. We had DCCC, the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee. Their job is to get individual members, congressional members in to build the congressional staff, and then the Senate has theirs also. It was really nice to see Senator Akaka. I tell you, he is so faithful, and people love him, and we want to return that love, the aloha spirit that he's given to us to give us encouragement. And so, and let me just close with this. The 2008 election was critical. It was critical because we had the Democratic Party out there with 8 or 9 candidates. All of them were good. Whittled down to 4. One white guy, one woman who was Anglo, one African American, and one Latino. First time. And nobody ever said the lesser of the evils. Everybody just chose sides and they started working hard. It whittled down to 2. Hillary and Obama. And during the whole campaign, I didn't hear people saying, geez, we got to choose one of the lesser of evils. It was, geez, who are we going to choose? And this process went right into the whole year of campaigning, to a point where people got nervous. It says, it's getting late, let's make a choice. But in my mind, this is the way it's supposed to work. We used to choose our candidate at the convention, not before. But as it happened before. And then all hell broke loose. But we also had to make sure that the team didn't fall apart, and that we had to bring in the folks who had supported Hillary and bring our family back together. And to their credit, they both worked hard to bring that family back together. And to your credit, you did the same thing when Edwards did not make it the previous time, because you know how hard the Edwards people worked, and then Howard Dean's people, the Deanites. You're still around, right? All that was the groundwork for what happened with Obama. And when he came along, folks locally found that he had this great talent. And then that talent became more and more exposed nationally. And he exuded the kinds of values that we all were striving for, the kind of leadership, the kind of thinking, and the willingness to talk it through and not put people down. And then we also found out that he had a background, many of who in his background looked like us. And that gave us hope. And for the first time, I tell you, working with Asian Americans across this country, trying to bring them together as a single national council on raising money was difficult. With him, when he did it, there was a coalition built very quickly. And then he took the campaign, and he took all of us across the threshold. And in Chicago, when it became evident that he became also the president-elect, it was pandemonium. And